Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's November 26th of 2021, and it's almost 11 p.m. Um, I've got this memory, which is supposed to come tomorrow, and it's for my B-Link. I keep calling it something else, B-Link computer, my GT Core uh, computer that I have, a little small one that has 16 gigabytes of memory. But tomorrow, hopefully, it's going to have 32 gigabytes of memory. Here's the box that the let's see. And it's a B-Link. The CPU is an 8259, which I don't know what that means, and it's an eighth generation. And I guess that's it. Let me put my BBS or BBC mug up on it, which is also local public radio station. And let me put my mug for the one BBS con. It was the second one that they held, and I attended it in Colorado Springs in 1993. So I had a couple people comment that they didn't think that I really was going to see much or any difference, going from 16 gigabytes of memory for what I do and going to 32 gigabytes. I think there will be some difference, but it's not going to be a massive difference, I don't think. I do, process, well now for most all of the videos that I have, over 1,000 videos here, I just, in the past, shot the video and uploaded it. And very few times did I ever clip anything to do, I'm just too lazy to do that. I've started to do that. I'm going to be doing, I think, more of that. And it takes a little bit of power to to process that. So I think there will be some. We'll find out tomorrow. Actually, we probably won't really find out tomorrow because I haven't even checked. I haven't run any. When I got this computer, I didn't run any tests to see, speed or how many, so I don't have anything to compare it against. But anyway, tomorrow that memory should come. It's really simple to get into this thing, and it's not going to take much time at all. Jimmy, could you get me a can of Coke since you're there?
Oh yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I haven't kept any records. I know when I'm processing the video or export, well, both, processing it and then when I'm exporting it, I hear the fan running in my little computer there. So I think it will make some difference. This is a memory, and I hope it's a correct memory. I got a good price on it, and I thought about buying a more, the same memory, but paying a little more for the memory. But oh, you can't see that. There it goes. I thought about spending a little more for the memory, but I didn't. Uh, uh, Now this is supposed to come in, I think in a few days. So I don't think it's coming tomorrow, I don't believe. Now coming tomorrow, no, coming today, it's already here. These came. I haven't put them on yet. I've purchased, my feet are swollen so big. I mean, they're gross, swollen and not getting the circulation. My legs and my feet are not getting the circulation. I have an impossible time finding any shoes that my feet will, even sandals or whatever that my feet will go into. Well, you can see, anyway, interesting material. I mean, the way it's made or whatever. Feels interesting. Oh, here's the package. Let me switch again here. I'll put links to all this stuff below. One of the, I've tried these compression socks, and well, when I try even regular socks, I have trouble reaching my feet. And whenever position I get in where I can try to put the socks on, my blood pressure, just doing that, my blood pressure shoots way up. I mean, way up. When I had the first pacemaker put in, and it lasted 10 years, and then I've got a second pacemaker in me, not two of them side by side. Took out the other one and put this one in. When I was at the hospital and I had the pacemaker put in, the first one, and then the next day or whatever it was, or maybe it was, I think the next day, the cardiologist comes in, female, that, well, they had a team, cardiac doctor's office, and whichever one was making calls that day or whatever. But anyway, she came in and checked everything, said, "You're ready to go. I'll go tell the nurse to, get you out of here." And I said, "Thank you very much." So I had a monitor hooked up to me, but I could get out of bed, and had a monitor hooked up to me. So I decided I just want to get out of here as quick as I can. So started, putting my pants on and that type of stuff, and so my blood pressure goes up, and the nurse came running in. "Are you all right? Are you all right? Your blood pressure just shot up in your heart rate, and get back in bed immediately. Get into bed immediately." So I like, and she said, "I got to call the cardiologist back and have the cardiologist come and check you." And so then the cardiologist, actually it was a different one. They probably had more than one in the hospital, And so the guy came in, checked me, and said, "Okay." So I know now, in a situation like that, just lay in bed until the nurse comes in and disconnects me from the. But anyway, my, heart rate and everything shoots up. I had over about 1,000 reviews on Amazon until they took them all off. And the way it started was, I'm not sure I had made any. I might have made 1 or 2 reviews or something. I don't think I did. I guess I would have. Knowing me, I would have if it was a really good, product or something. But I hadn't made many. But my doctor, my regular doctor, suggested that I get compression socks. So I ordered some and put them on and such. Anyway, I made a review of the compression socks, and I mentioned in there, that my doctor had recommended that and then I got an email from the company, and they said that they saw my review and they wanted to thank me. So would I please tell them what size I needed or used, and they'd send me a few pairs, which they did. Oh, that's yeah, you might think about that. Don't make false, reviews or anything like that, but if you do buy something on Amazon and you like it or whatever, you might write your review and make sure, there again, don't lie, but and maybe you'll get because the people selling it and stuff watch that kind of stuff, maybe you'll get sent something for free. Okay, wanted to mention this, and this ties in with this time. By the way, they didn't have, I forget what they had on my, here's my, oh, you can't see this again. Okay. What do I need? Well, maybe I could set, I've got I have an, Echo device. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that because you may set it off at your place. I have one of the Amazon devices, more than one. There's one in my room, one in my grown son's room, and there's one in the, dining room. That's a good idea. I'm getting a new one. Did I show that already? I'm not sure I'm there. Coming. It's one with the screen, the new one. That's what I could do is set up a, what do they call it? Forget what they call it. But set it up so I would tell I don't use the E word, I use the L word, I think. I forgot. God, I'm getting old. I could set that up, open, whatever want to call it, and then I could have it tell me, number one, turn off the aquarium pump, air pump or whatever, something. Turn that off because it makes noise. It's a couple arm lengths from here on the wall, and it makes noise. I've got it turned off this time. And then I could have some steps to make sure everything is. One thing I put in, I could have like step clear TP. I have this. My nose seems like it runs a lot, and so I have this, and I don't like for it to be in the video because I'm sure I'm not the only one that uses it instead of a Kleenex or something, but I just throwing in a picture. I'm just afraid somebody's going to be out there thinking, oh, what is he wipes his ass on there? So kind of want it out of the picture and some other stuff like that. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, I'll set up a whatever they call it. Now, this Logitech Brio 4K camera, it's here it is, and it's 4K. So it uses a USB 3.0. Has to have a USB 3.0 cable, and there are a few videos that you will see where you'll see, instead of this one, there'll be two going at the same time. Sometimes, like I have a top video here. Sometimes I've had a bottom video with a different view, things like that. When I've had some problems, I blamed having two powerful webcams, and the poor Logitech Brio has got made me think maybe that's too much. So when I get this memory tomorrow, and if I get it working, maybe I'll go back to having two 4K videos, because this other one is that I'm using is 4K. So maybe you'll see that tomorrow. These USB cameras, they work excellent, and really the video is great, but really they're overpriced, and I think the price was coming down because there's I've got a bunch of, let's see, here's a I don't even know what it's called, Nozomi, USB, and it's pretty, I forget the price, but it's pretty cheap and works great. It's not as great as, but it's close. I mean, and here's Logitech. I think this is the Logitech. I think that's the C920, I believe. And it has been excellent. But these inexpensive ones from China, they work great. But I mean, if you're doing YouTube videos, say, if you're doing TikTok or TikTok or whatever that is, or you're doing some of those other things, I don't think it matters what you use. And even if you're doing YouTube videos, and if you're not, but if you're really into it, I'd go with, but the price is outrageous. The prices were really coming down, and as soon as the virus thing hit and people started staying at home, for a little bit it was hard to get, USB webcams, and also then the price just shot up on all of them, and well, that's just the way of the economy. Why should they lower the price down when they can sell it at a high price? But it was kind of outrageous the way they just, shot the price up, way up. So anyway, tomorrow you may see me having two cameras again. We'll see how it works. I should have enough memory. That'll be for sure, if that's the problem. And I'm not sure it's been a problem. I was just, as you know, I've had trouble with audio. not so much with video, but I've had some problems, and I'm looking around. Okay, because I've always been making changes to stuff, and I look around, and a lot of times I think it happened when I hooked up a second camera or something. I've got the hardware and the software to, maybe that's what I should do. I have a Logitech G7 digital camera. I have the video device, the card, and I have the cables and the software, whatever. So I could, put over there. And I've never done it. I've run it, and I've done that before a few times, just testing. And I wasn't that crazy about it, because now you see a lot of people doing really great YouTube videos, and that's what they're doing. Maybe they're not using the Logitech G7. They should. Maybe they're using some other digital camera. But for me, these USB webcams are, tremendous, and you just plug them, in, and that's it. Now with the power, with the if it is power, with the 32 gigabytes of memory, I could probably run three cameras. One of them the Logitech G7. I'd really like to sell the Logitech G7 and just get a small amount of money, that's what I've done over the years. I'll buy something that I want and something that's expensive, and then I just would put it on eBay, and it was kind of funny. As soon as I would put it on, immediately somebody would buy it, because it was so, I had marked it down so low. So, the other thing, okay, where are we now here? Okay, this is the stand that came today for the all-new Echo adjustable stand. Here is the box that it came in. There's a little bit of information on the back. I don't think you need any of that information, and you can't see it. And I can't see it without turning it, but anyway. Here's a card. I guess they have to, Well, actually, I got this and I thought, man, it felt kind of light. Then when I took this out, I thought, that felt like, it's substantial to it. But when I brought it out, just immediately when I brought it out, I put it down like that. I think I put it down like that. I thought, wait a minute. Then it has an arrow pointing. But then I turned it over, and this is a magnet, or the magnet maybe is in the Show 5 when it comes. But anyway, it goes on there magnetically, and the thing will, tilt up and down, and doesn't do it a whole bunch, but you don't, so anyway, I've got a few things to keep me busy. I'll just add, I shouldn't add things to these things. Well, if you watched my videos a few days ago, I talked about the prisoner here he's not a prisoner anymore. In Missouri, he went to prison for 43 years, and he was actually innocent, and they just released him. And if you go to a federal prison, I think it's 50 if you're imprisoned. If you're imprisoned unjustly, when you come out, they give you $50 a day for every day you were in there. And then for state prisons, it's up to the states, and I think a whole lot of states do compensate people, but not the state of Missouri. So this guy was imprisoned for 43 years for a crime that he did not commit, and he came out, and the state of Missouri doesn't compensate at all, zero. And he came out in a wheelchair. He didn't go in it when he was in a wheelchair, but he's confined to a wheelchair now, and he came out, and nothing. Somebody set up I think it was the justice group of lawyers who research cases, and if they find a case where somebody has, then they go to the court and prove it, and to get the person out. And I think they set up the GoFundMe and explained, hey, this man was in prison for 43 years. My God. By the way, I've mentioned this guy before. There's a guy who was in prison for a jewel robber back in New York State, but he did his robberies, I think, in other areas, and diamonds, and but of course I knew about being institutionalized, how when you're in prison for a period of time and longer you're in there, how but I watched a few. I'm actually stopped. I'm not watching these. I'm going to try not to watch his videos anymore because they're really depressing. They're really depressing. Hearing about how bad the prisons and all that type of stuff is. People have talked about it. We know about it. Nothing happens. But he talked about being how it is to be institutionalized, and he had, I think it was 3 or 4 12-year terms for jewel robbery, and they ran consecutively, so they ran at the same time, and so he got out in 11 and a half years. And he talks about when he was finally released. Now he only served 11 and a half years. When he went down to be released, he went down, and he had all these prisoners, I guess, at all they have a fund there, and family can put money into it, and there may be some rules about how big it, but they have a lot of rules. And so he had $250, I think it was, in his fund, and they counted out the money for him, the cash, and then they gave him $50 to be, that's what, if somebody doesn't have any money in their fund, or family to give them some, or meet them or whatever, when you leave they give you $50. So he had that. So, but anyway, when he was there to get his property, and he said, "Now give me real money," and the guy said, "No, this is real money," and he says, "No, I mean real money," and the guy says, "It is real money," and he says, "Do I have to take this to a bank and get it changed to real money?" And the guy said, "No, this is real money." The 11 and a half years he'd been in, I didn't realize it had changed that often, he said it had changed, the money had changed 3 times. That's when we changed money, and then I think later we went and added color to it and stuff like that. So he, he didn't. So anyway, he got on the bus and to head home, and so anyway, he saw a cell phone. I think he knew about cell phones, but because they sneak them in. But it was something about the cell phone. He asked the lady, "Can I see her cell phone?" And she looked at him like, "Oh," She let him look at the cell phone. And he gave it back. And then they announced, "Okay, the bus will be stopping here for 30 minutes to get gas. You'll have time to get something to eat." And he was like, "At the gas station? You can eat at the gas station?" And he got off, and he said when he's making this video, he said that he says everybody says that when a guy gets out of prison, the thing he's going to want is sex, and he says that's wrong. What you want is food. You want some good food, because the food in the prison is, and then he went on about talking about how bad it was and the things. I was surprised at how bad the food was, according to him. And he was in federal prisons only, I believe. Got moved around a bunch of times in that 11 and a half years to different federal prisons. But he didn't know that there was like food. And he saw, I think, a KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there was Subway. And he thought, Subway. And he went in, got in line. And then when he got up there, the woman said, "Okay, what can I make you?" And he said, he froze. He just, a decision to be made. He couldn't. He just stood there, and she's like, "Sir, can I help you? What?" And then finally, he just went out of the line and went and got back into the bus, and then he went and sat in the back of the bus. And now this guy, if I can find his thing, I'll put a link below to his site. I'll try it when but if, word of caution, it's really depressing and really sad and whatever. Of course, he tells stuff that's funny, but still. But anyway, he sat in the back of the bus, and then he broke down and just started, he was just traumatized. He'd been, in 11 and a half years, he'd been institutionalized, and he just started sobbing, and he didn't know what to do, and how what am I going to do? He was just in, I'm not sure if that would be post-traumatic stress disorder. That'd be something. You put people especially put them in a federal prison, and then they're actually have post-traumatic stress disorder. I guess you can't have post until it's, I don't know. Anyway. But luckily he had a sister. Well, anyway, he wanted to surprise his family, and he ended up doing that, but not his sister, because okay, he had a cell phone then, didn't he? Anyway, he called his sister and got her, and explained, and he didn't have to explain very much, and I forget what she called it. Anyways, because she works with different kinds of people, helping them. That's what she does, and that's what she's trained in, or whatever. I forget what all the training was in, or whatever, but that's what she did. She helped people like that, and she says, "You have such and such." Just about everybody that gets out of confinement and prison like that has this. What you're having is perfectly normal. Just calm down. Don't freak out. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And that was enough. Then he made it home. And since the family hadn't been told, he got to pop in. One of them was his uncle, I think it was, or somebody. It was his birthday or something. So the family took him over there, and he surprised us, so. Anyway, I think, let's see, did I cover everything? I think I did. Well, this is the Echo Show 5, second generation, 2021 release, and that's what is coming, I think maybe tomorrow or the next day. Can't remember. Anyway. Oh, you're not seeing that either. I'm sorry. Okay. There it is. So that, I think, will be here in a day or two. Thank you very much for watching. Please give a thumbs up. If you can, please use any of the links below. I get a small commission. I think I showed you the other day, very small commission. But that would, help me buy some more stuff, Maybe buy another USB camera or something, just what I need. Anyway, thank you very much.